Peace, 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 peace. Peace in it, Lisa. Peace, sister Aisha. Peace, Chester. Chester with. How my volume? How my volume? How my volume? Is my volume good? Somebody let me know if my volume good. Okay, appreciate it, appreciate it. I'm gonna get started in a second. I'm gonna share to a few groups real quick, and I'm gonna jump into it. Yeah, bear with me for a second. One more. Give me about 2 more minutes, y'all. I'll get started. Don't wait till everybody get in. When they get in, they just get in. And let me invite a few more other people. Share the video too, y'all. If y'all don't mind, share the video on your page. That's all I'm gonna share too. Peace, peace, Sister Ebony. Well, I'm finna go ahead and jump into it. I said I kind of got it started a little bit early. I said 5:30, but want to come on in and share it to a few groups, share it to a few people. And I'm finna go ahead and get started because it's kind of lengthy, so I can get on here and get off of here. All right.
Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor of the knowledge of himself, he becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man.
Raising my team, red, black, and green, queen, the king, salute, now scream, I share, bring forth another hit, I share, I'm raising my team, red, black, and green, queen, the king, salute, now scream, I share, bring forth another hit, I share, I share.
All right. Today's presentation, as you see it, is called African Dance Presentation. This presentation just gonna go into a bunch of different dances of the different cultures our ancestors created. First, I want to say, before I go into the disclaimer, I want to say ETM Hotel. I want to say Dua Netcha, Uncle Giles and Neb, Rini Kofi Paisai, Modupe, Fatmu Alafie, Fatmu Iwa, Pele, Agun, Majube Iba Egungun Kiki, Egungun. Basically, I just said welcome in peace. ETM Hotel means welcome in peace. Fatmu Alafie means Fatmu Alafie means welcome in peace. So I always want to welcome in peace. Peace, Willadine. I always try to welcome in peace into my video, peace into the chat. I said Fatmu Iwa Pele, which is good character. So let's try to demonstrate good character in the chat. Peace, Sin Donald, or Aware Donald. So let's try to demonstrate good character, because if we say we're African descent, we say we come from Africa, that's our homeland, and we practice African spirituality, then we understand that it's a must to practice Ma'at and not Isfet, and it's a must to practice Iwa Pele and not Buruku Pele. Iwa. So my disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information, and that information provided for the educational purpose only. If you are in doubt, do the research or have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of this presentation to shut down, sell, or exchange the terms of the use at my own discretion. All trademark, design rights, copyrights, residents, names, mottos, logos, avatars, the sigmas, and marks used or cited by these websites are the property of their respective owners. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available and or adapt changes, improve information as it comes available in the future. Inputs wanted, changes, additions, deletions, or encouraged. So I always have to put a disclaimer out there before I get started. This is my saying: as I learn, we all learn. All right. African dance occupies central places in the culture throughout African continent, embodying energy and graceful beauty flowing through the rhythm. In Africa, dance is means of marking life experiences. So remember this. Remember what I'm saying. In Africa, dance is a means of marking life experiences, encouraging abundant crops, honoring kings and queens, celebrating weddings, marking rites of passages, and other ceremonial occasions. Dance is also done purely for enjoyment.
Ritual dances include many dances utilizing masks. It is a way of achieving a communication with the gods. A modern economic and political forces have wrought changes on African societies. African dance has also adapted, filling new needs that have arisen as many African peoples have migrated from village toward the cities. ETM Hotep Senate Kaba. Yeah, I'm quite sure you enjoy this one too, because I'll be talking about the Congo Square again a little bit at the end of the presentation, Senate Kaba. Peace, Josh. Peace, Senate Sophie. A modern economic and political force have wrought changes on African societies. African dance has also adapted, filling new needs that have arisen as many African people have migrated from villages toward the cities. I'm going to read that again. African dance has also adapted, filling new needs that have arisen as many African people have migrated from villages toward the cities. Most traditional African dance can be divided into 4 major categories. So remember this too as well. It says most traditional African dances can be divided into 4 major categories. Ritual dance, which I'm going to explain ritual dance. Ceremony dance, which I'm going to explain ceremonial dance. Communal dance, and the Griotic dance. Dance expresses local history. So I'm going to explain who the Griotic is and what is the Griotic dance in African culture. So the dances are divided into 4 different categories, family. And that is ritual dance, remember that, ceremonial dance, communal dance, and Griotic dance. The dances are broken into those 4 different categories. All right, ritual dance. The most ancient African dance there is. Ritual dance are initiated by the informed and the elders. They are usually religious in nature and are designated for specific occasions that expedite and facilitate the most powerful expressions of African people. Hotep Satepenra Miriaman. So remember again, the 4 categories are ritual, ceremonial, communal, and Griotic. So I'm going over the religious dance. So I gave you the religious dance because we're gonna go through all 4. Hotep, I am my brother's keeper. So in ritual dance, the people cannot perform it unless they have big understanding of their African religions are not exclusive. Individuals frequently participate in several distinct forms of worship. They are not perceived as conflicting in any way. Rather, they have considered accumulating means of achieving the same results, which is improved by the qualities of life. So you can't do in ritual dance without understanding or understanding the African religious and spirituality. So you can't perform a dance without understanding the African spirituality. All right, ancestor worship. Ancestor worship is very normal in Africa and is also an important part of religious practice among people who worship ancestors hundreds of years ago. After their death, reverence for ages take a mystical quality as through the living slowly becoming a god. So I threw ancestor worship in there. Also Hotep Senate, Monica. Also too, because again, for those that just coming in, I broke down African dances are broke into 4 different categories, and I'm explaining the different categories before I go any further into the presentation. So we on the ritual category, on the ritual ceremony, and I explained the ritual ceremony, and then explain to you that you cannot do a ritual dance without understanding the African religion or spirituality, spirituality, whatever system you may be a practitioner of. So an ancestor worship follows up under the religious dance and also up under the spirituality of the dance. So I wanted to throw that in so y'all can kind of get an understanding of that. So we just explained. So I just explained the ritual dance, which is broken into 4 categories. African dance broken into 4 categories. I'm gonna keep trying to reiterate that so y'all can understand it. So when I keep going through the presentation and through the slides, you will kind of understand some of the imagery and some of the things that I'm saying. So the 4 categories of African dance, again, is ritual dance, which I just explained the ritual dance and explained to you about the African spirituality and the religions behind the dance and the ancestral worship that's also attached to the spirituality, which falls in the bracket of ritual dances. So now I'm going to go into the ceremony, but the 4 categories are ritual dance, ceremonial dance, communal dance, and Griotic dance. And by the end of this presentation, you will understand the 4 different categories of the dance, of the African dances. You will understand the African dances because we're going to go through them, and we're going to go through some of the African cultures that created these different dances. And I'm going to even walk you through us being enslaved in the Atlantic slave trade, and we taking our dances with us into Portuguese, Spain, South America, the Caribbeans, and North America. So ceremonial dance is performed at an event such as weddings. And remember, keep these in mind. Ceremony dance are performed at an event. Peace, Brianna. Peace, Victor. Try to speak to everybody that come in the chat. Ceremony dance is performed at an event such as weddings, anniversaries, rites of passage, and coming of age celebrations, the welcoming of visitors, the accumulation of successful hunts, and others happenings shared by the whole tribe. The ceremonial dance is also expresses the community more than moods of individuals or our couples. And ceremonial dances and communal dances gonna kind of tie together and kind of go hand in hand, and you will see in a minute. In villages throughout the continent, the sound and the rhythm of the drums express the moods of the people. The drums is a sign of life. It is a beat. It is the heartbeat of the community. So those kind of follow what I'm saying. Those that have looked at my African drums, I can't remember the title because I've done so many presentations, but it's a presentation that I did on the drums. So those that gonna be familiar with some of these, with what I just said with the drums, and we'll talk about the drums a little bit in here. But I got a whole presentation on the drums. If for those that want to check out the drums, my African drums presentation, I can't remember exactly the title of it at this time because my titles be so long. But you can go to Kofi Paisai TV and subscribe and hit the like bell, and then you can go on and once you go on the channel and just scroll down till you find it, which is going to be so many presentations that I think you all will like. Peace, Jolanda. Peace, Steve. All right, the drums is a sign of life. It is a beat and the heartbeat of the community. All right, Griotic dance. The tradition and the stories are kept in the forms of music and dance, containing elements of history, metaphoric statements that carry and pass on the culture of the people throughout generations. Griotic dance not only represents historical documents, but they are ritual dramas and dances. They tell stories of historical events. So the Griots dance are a form of expression through dance or telling the history of the culture, of the tribes, of the clans, and of the nations. And the Griots in the community, or you could say, are historians. They keep up with the history behind their people, behind their clans, behind their nature. I mean, their tribes and their nation. So they tell. So in order for them to tell, and so they use this dance to tell their historical events, their past, present, their past historical events through dances. So remember, so we done got to the ritual. The African dances are broken into 4 categories. We done the ritual. I explained the ritual. I explained the ceremony. I just explained the griot. So I'm keep going to reiterate these things so y'all can kind of walk with me as we go through the PowerPoint presentation. The communal dance, and I explained when I explained the ceremonial dances. The ceremonial dances and the communal dances kind of go hand in hand and kind of tied in together. It expresses the life of the community more than the mood than the individual or a couple. In villages throughout the continent, the sound and the rhythm of the drums express the mood of the people. The drums is a sign of life. It is a beat. It is the heartbeat of the community. Such is the power of the drums to invoke emotions, to touch the soul of those who hear the rhythm. And we are people of spiritual people of rhythm. All right. More, and y'all let me know, because a lot of this I'm going to be giving out information, and then a few I want to show some of the dances. I want to show some of the visuals. So let me know if the videos that I play of the dances is playing correctly, because my past two presentations, one of them it really wasn't playing at all. It was skipping, and the other one they played okay, but it didn't play as good as I wanted them to play. So let me know when I play a couple of these videos just demonstrating the dances. Y'all let me know, is it showing up and it's not skipping, and y'all can see the videos clearly. All right. More than any other continent in Africa, babies are born almost dancing. When moms carry them from one place to another, they dance. So we start off as youth dancing, and dancing as is also the heartbeat of the community. I stated this in my African drums presentation, where I said the drum is the heartbeat of the community, and it is the oldest instrument. It is the oldest instrument. And where there is drums, where there is singing, there is dancing. And I stated in my African drums presentations, drums was implemented in the entire community, whatever they did. Dancing was the same way. The dancing was implemented in everything that we did. So we started off as youth dancing. And I'm going to show, hold on, this video here, and let me know if the video is playing here. I'm not gonna play all of it, but I just wanted y'all to show it started off first. That's why I want to start this slide off with more than any other continent in Africa. Babies are born almost dancing when moms carry them from one place to another. They dance. So we started out young dancing, but dance is incorporated in everything that we do. Peace, Hotep, Ampu Ma'adra. Peace to you, brother. All right, weddings. I'm not okay. Before I get into this slide here, can I ask? Because I kept trying to reiterate and keep repeating myself, so as through the slides you can kind of understand what I was saying, understand the presentation. So I said the African dances are broken into 4 categories. So the African dances are broken into ritual dance, they are broken into ceremonial dances, they are broken into communal dance, they are broken into Griotic dance. So can anyone of the family tell me, where does the wedding dance fall into place? What category does the wedding falls up under? Does it fall up under the ritual dancing? Does it fall up under ceremonial dance? Does it fall up under communal dance? Does it fall up under Griotic dance? I'm just trying to see if y'all paying attention. And then I kind of got a delay too, so if y'all already answer, I don't see it yet. Do I need to go ahead and answer it? Like I say, it's kind of delay. Send that Monica. Go on, answer for him. Send that Monica. You still on here, answer for which one to fall up under. Peace, Curtis Chambers. Okay, well, I don't see anybody else. Like I said, it has a delay, but it falls up under the category of, and family, share the video, please, share the video. It falls up under wedding. Remember, in the category of the ceremony, it falls up on the ceremonial dances. This is where the wedding dance will fall up under. It will fall up under that category. This is a wedding dance. A wedding dance in Zulu culture, a group of young virgins or young males performing a wedding ceremony dance. The dance shows the beauty of African rhythm. So this is, and again, this falls up under ceremonial. All right, and I gave this in here away. This is communal dances, and you know, communal dances are dances that just not involve just one individual dance, but it involves the whole community and not one individual, and how they express their emotions in the community. So this is a picture of an African woman dancing at African women dancing at a community gather. I forgot what place this is at. This may be in Kenya, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I put that here on the slide. All right. This is a slide here, and I'm gonna show you demonstrating the slides. I'm gonna ask this question too. Okay, the slide says a young girl of Luganda of Zambia spend months practicing a selection for their coming of age ritual. So the coming of age ritual. So we know the coming of age ritual falls up under the rites of passage. So those that had not seen my presentation on the African rites of passages, which I really think that we really need to integrate back into our communities, those different rites of passages that's dealing with the different stages in life. So if you hadn't seen that presentation, go to Kofi Paisa TV and go and scroll down till you see the African rites of passage video and click on that. But this here is the coming of age. So which category of the African dance this will fall up on? I'm gonna show the visual in a minute of the dance, but the coming of age, this is when the young males or the young females will become an adult. So we know that one of the rites of passage is the coming of age ritual, where at certain ages in certain communities you have the women from and the males from the age of 13, where they become an adult at the age of 13, at the age of 14, and so forth. You have some tribes at the age of 16 where you become an adult, 16 and up. But most of them start at an early age where you become adult at an early age between the age of 13 and 14. So this is the coming of age. This is they're going through their rites of passage ceremony. And through their rites of passage ceremony, they were dancing. And remember, in the African rites of passage presentation I did, where the men would be secluded from the community, and the women will be secluded from the community, and they will go through different rites of passage and so forth, and then come back and go through a ceremonial with the community. Hold on. This is why it was basically outlawed by the colonizers in the states. The power derives in it. That's right. Rites of passage, excellent. The grand dance were also great warriors, no doubt. Okay. Oh, and send that Lisa, you done answered that already. You said Sarah. Yes, this falls up under ceremonial dances. The coming of age, most of the rites of passage will fall up under the ceremonial, and they will fall up under the communal dances. So, because the communal dance and the ceremonial dance kind of goes hands in hand. So now let's show these young girls becoming into their womanhood through their rites of passage. Dance. Hold on. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead of myself. Peace, Gregory Reed. Peace. Also, family, let me know if the video was playing good. Like you said, the last video, send that Lisa said the last video was playing good. So I'm just trying to make sure the videos are playing good so you can see some of the dances as well. I let girls do that over here too, though. Don't they call that the twerking? All right. Now this next slide. This is the Adamu, is a Adamu. That's the name of this. This is the name of this dance here. Adamu is a Masa dance which is performed during Inuto, which Inuto means the coming of age ceremony of warriors. This dance also refers to the agus, the aigus, or the jumping dance by the non-masa. Both adamu and the augus are ma verbs meaning to jump, with adamu meaning to jump up and down and dance. Young warriors at the Masa village jumping to prove their strength. They show off their stamina in highly energetic dances, providing a means of judging physical health. So this here is another coming of age rites of passage, where these young men become adults, they're going through their manhood rites of passage. And there are many stages in the rites of passages. We know the first rite is the birth rites of passage, or the birth name rites of passage, and then you have the adult rites of passage. And the adult rites of passage, you have different stages, as I explained in my African rites of passage presentation. I'm not going to explain it here. If you want to look at it, again, go subscribe. I'm gonna keep plugging my channel. Go to Kofi Paisai TV and subscribe and hit the bell so you'll know when I do go live and present something. You'll know. You'll be able to not miss the presentation, but you can always go back and look at the presentation. So this is the coming of age rites of passage, and as Sister Senator Lisa stated earlier, this falls up under the ceremonial dance. And again, the category, the piece, Brother Lucis, Uncle John Zaneb, to you, Gregory Reed, appreciate that. But it's broke up into 4 parts. And again, there are the African dances are broke up into 4 categories: the ritual dance, the ceremonial dance, the communal dance, and the Griotic dance. And I went through the slides and explained those earlier for those that just tuning in. But I'm gonna keep reiterating, because I'm gonna keep asking y'all the questions about which dance this category it falls up under. But I wanted to start off with those categories and explain those categories, so when I start showing the slides, everybody kind of, understand and be able to walk with me. So again, this is one of the coming of age, or one of the rites of passage of the Masa people, the Masa boys becoming an adults by going through their rites of passage ceremony here. And the dance is called Adamu. And this dance, ma, means to, the ma is a verb. You know what I'm saying? We know a verb means committing some type of action. So they are jumping, jumping up and down. Or the word Adamu means to jump up and down and dance. And then also it was to demonstrate their stamina. So it was an energetic dance, and it was also to show that these young boys was healthy. At the age did they this take place? At what age? In certain groups, in certain African cultures, it just all depends of what culture, a tribe that you come from. Some, as I stated earlier, some are early as majority that I have seen are from 13 to 14 years of age, where you become an adult. You become through your manhood, but you go through your rites of passage as your adult rites of passage. There are 3 different stages before you go to the next stage. But 13 through 14 is where you become an adult. So they become, in our culture, we become an adult at an early age. So, and after the adult, you have the marriage rites of passage. And the marriage rites of passage is through the adult rites of passage, those 3 stages that develop you on what a man is supposed to do and what a woman is supposed to do. So when you understand that for us, with a man and a woman, you should be a virgin. This is why you will see in our culture, you don't see a whole lot of babies out of wedlock, because we understood when we went through these rites of passage as far as the manhood and the womanhood, they are developed, and they understand that what a man role is, what a woman role is. The woman is not superior to the man is not superior to the woman, as we've been taught in various religions that that we have encountered over our lifetimes, or what Western theology has presented us over the time. So and through when they're going through the marriage rites of passage, the male already know his role, the woman already know his role, and they are virgins, and they conceive a child after they have wedlock, they have joint together in holy union. But you have some that starts too, and some tribes that may start from the age of 15 to 16, where you go through your rites of passage. But most, like I say, I see it starts from 13 to 14 years of age. And then the next one, the adulthood, it goes from 25 to maybe 50 that I see. And then from 60 on up, this is where you will be considered an elder at this point of time, or grooming you to be an elder. And then you will go through your eldership rites of passage. And it's a difference, as I stated, between an elder and an older. We have a lot of elders in our community now. We don't have a lot of elders in our community. That's why I say we need to reinstate these rites of passages in our community and go through those 7 or 8 different rites of passages to develop. Those are different. The rites of passages are nothing but stages of life. These marriages were at the very early age, not particular at a very early age. Some of them was at an early age, but particular, you know, you will go through your adult rites of passage, and then you will go through your marriage rites of passage. But through these marriage, through the adults or the manhood of the woman rites of passage, again, there are 3 different stages. So you are being groomed. You are being groomed as a teenager, or you're being groomed as a young adult. Then you're being groomed as middle age, and then you are being groomed as old age, where you go into your eldership. But through going through these different stages, you are being groomed to be a husband, to understand what the role of a man is to a woman, and so forth as with the man. But yes, at the age of 13 or 14, you are a man. You are going through manhood. And I know we're being taught here, 18 years of age, you are considered legal. You're still a teenager, but you're considered legal. And at the age of 21 here, you are able to go and buy cigarettes, and drink stuff that you're able to destroy yourself with. You at 21, you're able to go destroy yourself. There's no limit of destroying yourself at the age of 21. But at 18, you are considered a man. At the age 18, a female is considered a woman. We don't have communities. We have families. We have to undo a lot. Yes, we have to undo a whole lot, Senate Monica. Groomed to be an elder. Yes. Yes. So here is the stamping. This slide is the stamping dance. This is called the stamping dance, known as the Ndalumu. Traditional Zulu dance is done by the Ngunu group, a group of tribes, each in their own fashion. It is a secular dance performed by young men in single or double lines, different tempos, manners, and stamping the ground, stamping the ground, ending the dance, and the ways of holding their dance sticks are used by each tribe. So this is a picture of a dance by the Zulu people, the dance that is called the Ndalamu, which is a stomping dance, and it also is a dance of what you will see through. Well, I don't get ahead of myself, because it's going to be another slide where you're going to see the same demonstration of this dance by the Zulu, and it's going to be another dance. This here is the stomping dance, but the stomping dance is incorporated with another dance that we're going to go through. So ETM Hotep, Uncle John Zaneb, to you too, saying, Sean. So can anybody tell me what category of this dance will fall up under here? Will it fall up under, because again, I stated, and I keep reiterating, African dances are broke into 4 different categories. You have the ritual dance. And again, I explained through the ritual dance, you cannot participate in the ritual dance if you don't understand the African religion or the African spirituality in the culture. You can't participate in the dance. And the ancestor worship is also incorporated into African spirituality. But I know all of y'all know this. So it falls up under ritual dance. And then we have the ceremonial dance. As I explained, those are different ceremonies. And Senate Lisa got one right with the wedding. or was it with the wedding? Oh yeah, it was with the wedding dance that I showed earlier. And you have another category, the communal, and then you have the Griotic dance. Brother Curtis, that's correct. It will fall up under the communal dance. I think communal. Yes, so it will fall. That's correct. So it will fall up under the communal. It is a group. It is not a single dance by a single individual. It is a collected effort and a collected effort or collecting gathering of the community gathering together to demonstrate this type of emotion. You know what I'm saying? By this dance. So that's correct, Curtis. Peace, Felicia, peace. Oh shoot, let me go back. So let me show that. So on some of them, like I said, I'm gonna try to show the demonstrations of the dance. Oh shoot, hold on, let me go back. All right. I ain't gonna play all that, but I just wanted to show y'all what the stomping dance will look like demonstrated, so you can see them doing a stomping dance and look like they was doing a two-step in there too, one. But that was the stomping dance there. Yes, it falls up under the communal dance category of the African dance. All right, this is the Kapon logo. Comes from Ghana, and some of y'all should be familiar with this name Kapon logo, because in my African drums presentation, which if you haven't looked at it, and I can't remember the title of it, because again, my titles be so long, I can't remember the name of the video, but it's the African drums. You can go to Kofi Paisa TV. Please subscribe and hit the bell and scroll down until you see the African drums presentation, and you'll see here, you're in this corner here, you see the Kapon Longo drum from Ghana. And I talked about this drum in the presentation. I'm not going to talk about it in this presentation because it's not a drum presentation, but go and check that presentation out as well. But this is the Kapon Longo drum, and they have a dance that is named the same as the Kapalongo drum. So the Kapalongo drum comes from Ghana, more specifically the Ga ethnic group. This dance started in the capital city of Accra, but now it is enjoyed throughout the country. The Kapalongo is known as a highlight dance performed to the Kapalongo drum. This drum here in the corner. And again, if you want to know more about the drum, go to Kofi Paisa TV, subscribe, hit the bell, and check out the presentation. The music of the Kapalongo drum, and you can see here in the video, you can see here in this picture here, you can see the brothers in the back with the Kapalongo drum. So the brothers and the sisters are dancing at the rhythm of the drum. The Massa is considered the king of dance band, highlight and play in many bands and locations. The Kapalongo is a fairly recent dance and started around 1940 after World War II. All right, let's go here. Military, war, martial art dances. This is in the African Dance book here by Karumu Washil Ashanti. In West Africa, military, war, and military art dances are performed by men, but there are an exception in some ethnic groups in which women participate in or have their own war dances. In these dances, the dances stylizes their movement to depict war and conquest. And in my African drum video, I told you that in the when they got ready to go to war, when our ancestors got to go to war, the drum was present there, and the drums invoked a certain type of emotion out of us by the playing of the drum. The rhythm of the drum evoked that emotion for us to go to war, that type of emotion. The same thing with the dance. The dance is demonstrated through some type of emotion, and it evokes some type of emotion out of us. The koro is a Nigerian dance performed by men that consist of many kicks and arm thrusts, which are used to demonstrate how they meet opponents in war. The Dundamba is a Senegal dance of strong men. Women do not traditionally perform movements from the Dumba, but when it is performed on stage, they dance the dance movements from the Madana dance. Instruments used included the djembe. You can get that information on my African drums presentation too. I talked about the djembe drum. A goblet-shaped hand drum that makes a high, crisp sound, as well as the dundun, the dundumba, sangaba, and the kinkini, different names for different sizes, and the same double-headed cylinder drum. And I talked about the different sizes in that presentation, and why they are different sizes, and why they are made out of different animal skins and different types of wood and metal and so forth, to distinguish a different sound and how far the sound would travel. All right, the women war dance is a dance by the Ga women of Ghana whose husbands have gone off to battle. The women war dance is a dance by the Ga women of the Ghana whose husband has gone off to war. So you will see in Ghana, which is in West Africa, the women would do this particular war dance, and this war dance would be a dance for their husbands that may have gone off to war. So I guess it will probably be some type of dedication war dance to their husband as they gone off into battle. They mimic the war experience through dance as an intimate charm. The women painting themselves white, adorn themselves, and you see in our culture, in our African culture, you will see we painted our faces white, or we will paint our entire body white. And in certain cultures, we know white represents purity. We know white represents, in some cultures, the Khoi people, the women would it would make them distinguished to paint themselves white with this white chalk or this white powder and so forth, and it represented beauty. Also in the voodoo system, with the font with the people in Benin, you will see them that where they will wear white, and the faces will be painted white, the bodies will be painted white, and it will be in to represent purity and also to honor the high priest, the high priest at the funeral of the high priest, and to recognize the high priest's spirituality. Kambarala is another example of martial art dance from Angola. Yes, it is, and I wanted to add that slide into it because I'm gonna go into what morph these other dances, because we're gonna go into from Africa into the Latin dances, you know what I'm saying, into North America with these other different dances, and I can't compara. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. I wanted to talk about that and how it developed, and I may talk about it a little bit because I'm going to talk about these other different dances and so forth. But yes, that is one of the martial art dances, and I think I touched on it a little bit in a slide after this slide here. I am my brother's keeper. Dance intimate charms. The woman painted themselves white, adorned themselves with beads and charms, and carry guns, sticks, and knives. They hacked paw fruits as they were enemies, carrying long bushes made of buffalo horse tails as they danced. Another example is the Asha Bakar, or the war dance of the Ewe people of Ghana, usually performed by war heroes to demonstrate the activities on the battlefield. So this is another dance. The Asha Baku is another war dance that is demonstrated by the Ewe people, which is also in Ghana, West Africa. It says it's usually performed by war heroes, those that may have went into battle and became war heroes. So they would demonstrate or some type of dance of activity of them being in battlefield to honor those war heroes. All right. This here is the Zulu youth animal skin skirts that these brothers wearing, war dance movement. So I wanted to kind of demonstrate the war, go into that out of that book, the African dance book, to to go into this slide here to kind of get y'all understanding of the war dance. I will, I was African dancing in elementary school. Love it. Okay, peace to you too, Candy. So this here is a Zulu dance, and again, I showed you the stomping dance a while ago, and Brother Curtis Chambers, I asked before I even got a chance to ask, because as I keep stating, African dances are broken into 4 different categories. They are broken into ritual dances, they are broken into ceremonial dances, they are broken into communal dances, and they are broken into Griotic dances. So, and I showed the stomping dance, which Curtis Chambers said that it was a community, which is the communal dance, which is correct. So where they stomp the ground, their feet will go up and they will stomp the ground. And I stated in there that was also incorporated into the war dances. So I'm going to show you here the war dance of the Zulu people. And let me know, family, because I know y'all probably tired of me asking, but again, I had a video or two where my videos didn't hardly was skipping, or they wasn't really playing, and that was due to this laptop I have here. My old laptop, on my old PowerPoints, I could, I started to do it from that laptop there. My old laptop, I can, those that are familiar with the PowerPoint structure, you can click on and go straight to YouTube, and I can download the video directly to the PowerPoint. But on this laptop, my new laptop that I got a few months ago, that I've been recently doing my PowerPoints on, it's, for some reason, my PowerPoint function, when I got this PowerPoint didn't offer the download from YouTube. So I had to get a program, had to buy a program, the YouTube program, where I can automatically click into this program and download it on this YouTube program from off of YouTube, and then I can go on PowerPoint and then download that video immediately to the PowerPoint. So it's a little different. So that's why I keep asking. But here is the demonstration. I ain't gonna play all the video, but them drums got me ready to stab something, y'all. But nah, that's the war dance of the Zulu people. And again, you can see the stomping motion in there. And you can see them like they're attacking something and they are stabbing. They're stabbing something, you know, they're going through the motions of war and stomping and so forth in the dance. So I wanted to kind of demonstrate that, show the demonstration of the war dance by the Zulu people. All right, this is the Kokoro. It is a Yoruba dance and martial arts, and it's actually saying I am my brother's keeper. If you still on here, if I'm not mistaken, I may stand to be corrected, but I think the dance the Capocoro, whatever it is, I can't pronounce it right, but I think it comes from also it comes from this dance from Yoruba, the Kokoro dance. This is a martial art dance that is in Europe and in Nigeria and southwestern Nigeria, and you can see all through time, even when we are kidnapped, when our ancestors are kidnapped and they are taken to these various places, Spain, Portuguese, the Caribbean, South America, North America, as we on these plantations or these forks plantations, we still try to stay sharp and fight, so we would create dances that looked like we was dancing, but it was actually practicing martial arts and so forth. And before I get off of here, I'm going to put a book in the chat. I'm going to have to go and get it, but I have a book showing you martial arts. I know a lot of people, and I actually bought the book from West Africa, from an individual. I can't think of the brother's name right now. And I'm gonna get up in a minute when I play another video of a dance, and I'll get the book and I'll share the book and the author name that I got. I got like a few years ago from West Africa, and it's showing the different martial art moves and explaining the martial arts moves and the techniques and where did it come from and so forth. And it's a little small book. It may have about 40 pages in the book, 40, 45, maybe 50 pages at the most. And it's easy to read. And I think it'll be a great book to have if you want to understand martial arts, where martial arts originated, how we get into the dances and so forth. Because I know when we think of martial arts, we think of Asians, we think of the Chinese and the Japanese and so forth. To even talk about that in the book about the Chinese, it talks about the samurai, and it talks about the samurai. In order to be a samurai, you had to have a drop of African blood in you to be a samurai. But I'll give that book name. I'll drop it in there in a second when I go back. But let's get back to the presentation. This is the Kokoro Yoruba dance and martial arts. It is a ritual martial art intertwined with the Koro dance in Nigeria. The Koro is a Nigerian dance performed by men that consists of many kicks. And this is the people, this is the Igbo men from Nigeria. So you got the Yoruba people that's in that area, and you got the Igbo people that is also in Nigeria as well. Here is the mass dance, and I gave this to you too because I kind of stopped at same elements. Indeed, it's amazing how much Africa we reflect today, thousands of miles away from the motherland. That's Black power, no doubt, brother Dual. I mean, you have to understand something. We have been disconnected from our homeland, but you have to understand the homeland blood still runs through our veins. This DNA still runs through our veins. So we are, it is innate in us. Even when we don't want to be African, we still African because it is running through our veins. Hotep sending Nefer Amen Ma'at Ra. Peace, brother. 52 blocks is based on rhythm, and it seems like it has dance moves in it as well. Okay. 52 blocks is based on the rhythms. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, even when we try to run, we still African. We still doing things because a lot of us, we have our African culture tradition has been erased. It has been erased. Memory of our who we are has been erased. But again, it is flowing. Africa is flowing through our blood. It is flowing through our DNA. So even like I say, when we don't want to be African, we still African. We doing things that is African, things that comes from our culture, that stems in our culture and stems in our tradition. Talk about it, Cinco. We still Africans. That's right. So this here is, and again, I wanted to get, and I gave it away. This falls up under the ritual dance. And again, and I'll keep reiterating that African dances are broken into 4 categories: ritual dance, communal dance, ceremonial dance, and Griotic dance. And this will fall up under the ritual dance. And you can see here, our ancestors, and this is not a shot to anybody, but our ancestors, you can see in our culture. That's why we must understand our culture and who we are. Our ancestors didn't wear crystals around their necks. You don't see the crystals. You don't see the crystals around the neck. So our ancestors didn't indulge in crystals. I mean, I'm not no shot to that culture. You know what I'm saying? But our ancestors didn't wear cultures. And I see a lot of us saying we're Pan-Africanists, we're African-centered and so forth, and we're around here with crystals on our neck. I mean, but if you choose to, you can do that. But just don't mix the culture in with our culture. Just say where this culture comes from, the Hindus or whoever it comes from. Just let it be known that you find something in this culture over here that is working for you, but don't mix and match it with our culture. And it's no shot to folks that wear crystals and so forth. But you know, that's not our culture. So don't mix and match it. If you do it, just let it know where it comes from. You know, let it know. You know, let us know where it comes from. But you will see in our culture, you will see the cowrie shells. You will see the cowrie shells. The cowrie shells. You will or you will see the beads. So you will see beads and cowrie shells. You'll see the beads on the necks, the cowrie shells on the necks, the beads on the mask, the beads, the cowrie shells on the clothing, the cowrie shells on the mask, and so forth. You see, or even the cowrie shells was used in exchange of currency. You know what I'm saying? Well, we exchange, that was our currency at one point of time. So just, you know, and I just had to throw that out there, you know, because I see a lot of mixing and matching going on. But no shot to people that does that. Just like I said, just let it be known that, you know, I also like a particular aspect of this culture, and this is where this culture comes from. But we'll say this is embedded in our culture, and it is not, crystals did not come from African culture and traditions. The mask form is an essential feature of the tradition African culture. Elaborate masks are used in ritual dances. And again, you cannot participate in a ritual dance. As I broke down the 4 categories, I explained them in different slides as I broke them down. And in the ritual dance, you cannot participate in a ritual dance if you're not embedded into the religion or the spiritual system of that culture or that tribe or that clan. So the mask dances formed an integral part of the traditional ceremonies, including weddings, funerals, and initiation rites. The mask wearer is said to transgress his human form and take over the form of the spirit that is represented by the mask. And I explained this in my presentation I did on African masks, where they would wear certain masks, certain masks, and they will wear these masks and perform these certain dances and these ceremonies where they would try to be possessed by the ancestors and the Agungun in the ancestors world, and then the ancestors will communicate through them, through wearing the mask and dancing and so forth. And that's why I broke down and I explained with the ritual dance, you can't participate in the ritual dance if you're not engulfed in the religion and the spiritual system behind it. And I attached the ancestor worship onto it because we're talking about the ancestors. So now they are performing these types of ceremonies to tap into the Egungun, tap into the ancestral world, to the Egun or the Aku, so they can communicate back and forth to be possessed. And again, I know when we hear certain keywords of possession and so forth, you know, we have been taught certain things in our culture. We have been demonized by Western society, by Europeans, and it's no different than you going into the churches. There are folks that participate and go to church, and you know, they say they catch the Holy Ghost. You are being possessed, and you started communicating, started speaking in tongues. You started speaking in tongues, and you are possessed. You are being possessed. You know, so these are the same things, but I know when we use the word possessed, I know certain words that we use are certain words or keywords that are triggering our subconscious, where we start to think negative connotation about certain words because we have been taught that ever since from knee high all the way up. Peace, Larry Brown. Okay. The spirit that represent by the mass dancer thus becomes the medium of the communication between the members of the community and the spirits. And you can get more information on that. Yes, we have been spooked out, Brother Chambers. We have been spooked out. For the spooked out, it's about the transferring of energy that never dies. That's right, because our ancestors understood energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one state to the next. They understood that. They understood the Ashe. They understood that. No devils or demon stuff. That's about energy. Appreciate that, Brother Curtis, for clearing that up too. You know, but the mass dances are thus becoming mediums to communicate between members of the community and the spirits. And for a little bit more information and so forth, peace, you can peace Arub Mutula, and I may be pronouncing your name wrong, so please forgive me if I heard that saying sorrow or tutu. That's right. Talk the truth. That's exactly what that means. Talk the truth, speak the truth. That's right, Sinek Kaba. Look at her. Look at her speaking the language. That's all right. So for more information on that, about the mediums being a mask and so forth, going through the ceremony with the dance, please subscribe to Kofi Paisa TV. That's my channel, and you can go to that presentation, and it's a great presentation, and I explain it a little bit more in that presentation about the African mask. But I'll warn you, my channel is the phrase is Kofi Paisa TV, the channel that takes the black woman, black man, black child, Eurocentric mind, and Africanize it. So if you want to stay in a Eurocentric mind state, do not go to my channel, Kofi Paisa TV. Because if you look at those presentations, it's going to take their Eurocentric mind and it's going to Africanize it. So subscribe at your own risk. All right. So now the Griotic dance, and I don't even got to ask the family what category this dance falls up. Well, okay, what dance this falls up under? What dance this falls up under? What category of African dance does the Griotic dance falls up under? I'm not going to even name the 4 African categories. And if y'all can, name the 4 African categories, because I have reiterated over and over and over and over through the slide. If you can't remember, it's not to insult you, insult your intelligence, or stroke my ego. I'm just trying to see if y'all listening to what I'm saying in the presentation, because it's all a learning process. Because my phrase, as I learn, we all learn. So when I learn things, I'm going to share information with you. I'm not going to hold on to this information. I'm going to share the information. So the only way we able to excel or we able to succeed is, as I learned, we all learn. As we learn things, we must share it with the family. I learned this can be done through dance as well. Yes. That's what I'm saying. You do I Skype, brother? And I know I'm saying your name wrong, brother, too. And but you said I've learned this can be done through dance as well. What are you saying? The communication with the ancestors, being possessed by the ancestors and communicate. Yes, if that's the case, yes, that's what I'm talking about. The wearing of the mask. This the slide back here, you can see here the sisters and the brothers are wearing a mask with cowrie shells on them. And this mask is in a ritual dance. And this ritual dance is a ceremony. This is a ceremony dance with the mask on. The mask would be considered a medium between what we call the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So it is the mediator between the two, where you can get to the ancestors and the ancestors can communicate to you. So if that's what you're asking me, yes, brother Skyfer. Communal, Griotic, ritual, ceremony. That's right, brother Curtis. Appreciate that, man. I just want to make sure that, as I'm, going through the presentation, people are learning and people are grasping the information. But it falls, Brother Curtis gave all the communion, Griotic, ritual, and ceremony. Those are the 4 categories. I am my brother keeper. You did the same thing. You gave it. So peace, brother. I see you paying attention and you listen as well. You can't keep it if you don't give it away, as my brother Unc was saying. That's right. Senator Kaba. That's right. Well, and it falls up under the griots. Griotic dance would be what it falls up under. And and I explained the griots a little bit as I was breaking down on the different slides, the different categories they fall up under. So I tried to go over it. I got two right, LOL. Okay, say that, Sophie. But the griot dance, the griot, who is the village historians, who teaches about the past of their culture and tradition. The griots are the keepers of the culture, tradition, and the history of the people, as I stated earlier. So the griots in the community, they are basically the historians who teaches about our past and our culture and our traditions. They are the keepers of the culture and traditions of our history. So they tell our stories or our history through the dances. You can see on this side, you can see I wanted to highlight the brothers and the sisters, because you have griots brothers and sisters. So you got the brothers at the top demonstrating, and you got the sisters at the bottom demonstrating. They are all griots. They are historians in their tribes, their clans, their nations. The griots are the keepers of culture, traditions, and the history of the people. These traditions are kept by Africans in the form of dance and music that usually tell a story about their people. In Senegal, Malinke people dance lamba, for instance. The griot has such a big relevance that it is said that when the griot dies, the library burns to the ground. It also says that about the ancestors, not the ancestors, but the elders, because we know the elders has been here longer than any of us. So they have collected along the way enough knowledge and wisdom where they was able to get understanding. So they was the wise ones in our community. They was the teachers in our community. They was the historians in our community. They kept the history of the people going so the next generation wouldn't forget, and so forth. So it says, and that's a powerful statement, when a griot or an elder dies, a library has burnt to the ground. And I forgot I kept throwing these things up here because I wanted to keep asking which category falls up on. But I know you family, y'all got it. So, all right, I ask this question. They are repositories of information through experience. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro, Curtis. That's a fact. And this is a ritual dance. It falls up under ritual dance. And it falls up under ritual dance because it deals with the ancestors. And it deals, and again, African religion or African spirituality, you can't, ancestral worship of veneration is attached to that. So this is why it's a ritual dance. And it is called the oguvu, a slow moving performing that resembles knocking at the door to emit the ancestor spirit. So it is in a dance. It is also a dance like the mass dance. It is a dance of trying to get the attention of the ancestors in the ancestral realm, the ancestral spirit, to communicate with them. My brother is on point. Appreciate that, bro, Curtis. This is amazing teaching. Thanks for the invite, Curtis. Appreciate you tuning in, Aru Mutulu. And again, I apologize. I'm saying your name wrong. And family, share the video. Invite some more people. And share the video. Share the video and invite some more people that you think will, appreciate the information. Okay, the avugo is a slow-moving performance that resembles knocking at the door to a menace of the ancestral spirit. All right, so we know that falls up under ritual dance. All right, here, throughout African dance is also integral part of making the birth and death at the burial cemetery. The Igogo dance by Yoruba people, by young men over graves and packing the earth with stomping movement. So you can see this brother here in Nigeria is doing the Ogogo dance, jumping up and down, pounding and stomping and packing on the earth. It is a dance that is that is demonstrated in burial ceremonials. So what dance would this Igogo dance be in? Will it be in the ritual dance? Will it be in the ceremonial dance? Will it be in the communal dance? Or will it be in the Griotic dance? Which category would this African dance falls up under? And this dance is similar to the Massa people that I showed you earlier that went through their rights of manhood passage, or their age, their rights of age passage, where you see they were jumping up in the air through one of the ceremonies to demonstrate their health and their stability. Ceremony dance. That's right. Brother Curtis. That's a fact. That's a fact. Agriculture dance, and I forgot, I don't even have to ask this because I got it. It's a communal dance. You know, it's an agriculture dance. And again, dance was incorporated in everything that we do. Just whatever it was, daily activities that we did, there was dancing that was involved in everything that we did. Agriculture dance, communal dance, women farmers. This is the women farmers here in government agricultural extension workers here, dancing and singing together during the farming fields day near Songhai in Zambia district of Malawi. So this dance would be for many things. You will have the agriculture dance. These agricultural dances, which is a communal dance, and communal dance it's not a dance or act by one individual. It is a dance by a group of people, particularly the community, dancing for a common cause and so forth. So you will see this dance taking place. You will see them out in the fields. You will see the sisters out in the field, or the brothers out in the field harvesting in the fields. You know what I'm saying? And they would dance. You will see them participate in these certain dances to reap the benefits of the harvest. So if they planted certain types of plants, rice, beans, so forth, and it started to sprout up and grow, they would dance. They were reaping the benefits of the harvest that they have did, so they would dance. This is the agriculture dance. Peace to one of the curls. Peace to you, sister. This is why it isn't aided for us today. It was our love, both dancing and singing. Amazing how our culture is right here with us, regardless of how disconnected we are from the motherland. That's right, Sinet Kaba, because it is embedded in our DNA. We can't escape it. Even if we try to run away from it, we can't run away from it. We are still doing these certain things today. You know, and even when I did my African poem libations presentation, again, that's on Kofi Paisai TV. If you hadn't checked that out, please subscribe to the channel and click the like bell, or you can go on there as well. You know, us pouring liquor out to our dead homies. You know what I'm saying? We all did this, and we never knew exactly where this comes from. You know, it's an African tradition, pouring libations. It is embedded in our African spiritual systems. So we can't run away from these things. It's just embedded in us, in our DNA. So does the same format goes for the Native American dances. The dances, and I'm not gonna talk too much about the Native dances, but you'll kind of get the picture though. With the Native dances, our dances, a lot of our dances ended up being incorporated with other people and other diasporas, due to the Atlantic slave trade, or due to us migrating when the colonizer came in and colonized the whole area. Then we moved out because we did not want to be colonized, so we went into other different areas and we intertwined our dances with theirs. Peace, Nagasa Zell. Peace, brother. Okay, make sure I get it. Okay. The in-main dance of Ghana, dance of love, are performed on special occasion. The in-main dance of Ghana, it is a dance of love, are performed on special accessions such as weddings, anniversaries. It is done solely by women doing weddings in honor of the bride.
Sin Kofi. I was told us African people have a world history. That's right, we do. Exactly. I feel this is direct connection to our spirituality. It is, brother Skype. It is a direct connection to our spirituality. You can't have it. You can't have it with one without the other. Can't have one without the other. And can anybody tell me what 4 categories of dance does the in main dance of Ghana fall? It's a dance of love. What category does it fall up under? Does it fall up under the African category dance of ceremonial? Does it fall up under the African dance of ritual dance? Does it fall up under communal dance? Does it fall up under Griotic dance? The drums was not a significant part of Native American dance of culture. If it were, then it would have taken West African to come. It would have taken West African to come here and make the difference. Excuse me, in the beat of the drum. Ooh, excuse me, I got something in my throat. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me get something to drink. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Yeah. I am my brother's keeper. It falls up under ceremonial. And it can fall up under communal dance as well too, because ceremonial and communal kind of go hand in hand. But yep, ceremonial. That water good. All right. Here is an aerobatic dances of Eastern Nigeria. The leaps, turns, jumps, and intrinsic footwork of dances is certainly a sight to behold. The dance is usually performed at key events and ceremonies. And you can see these brothers, you can see how the acrobats going on here. These brothers is very flexible. We're going to demonstrate, I'm going to show a demonstration of the dance here. Watch these brothers.
I ain't gonna play the whole video, but I just want to kind of show the dance. So this was like a acrobatic type of dance that was in eastern Nigeria. Just wanted to show you some of the acrobatic moves that they was doing. The video it's kind of long and it shows a whole lot of other them doing like a whole lot of other acrobatic stuff. But that's the acrobatic dance of the people in eastern Nigeria. All right, the Bajagon traditional acrobat warrior dance. So this is a warrior dance. You can see two females right here, and my next presentation is gonna be on the Bajagon people. So I was gonna do it maybe Tuesday, but I'm gonna just wait, and I'm gonna do it. I won't go Facebook, but this presentation here, after I get off of here, will be immediately downloaded onto my YouTube channel. But the Bajagon presentation, it will be, I won't do it on Facebook. I'm going to do it on my YouTube channel, Kofi Paisa TV, which will probably be maybe this Saturday or something when I do it on the Bajagon people. So I want to touch on those people. But here is an acrobatic warrior dance right here by the Bajagon women. Side note, it is said that the Fulani acrobats in Senegal, the Gambia and Guyana perform movements similar to those of American breakdancing, such as backspins, heads, and handstand. Y'all hear that, family? It says that the acrobats of Senegal, the Gambia, and Guyana perform movements similar to those of American breakdancing, such as backspins, heads, and handstands. And I wanted to put a video showing that the people in Senegal and in Gambia doing it, but the video wouldn't it was at a poor quality and it wouldn't hardly play because I wanted to see show you some of the African dances in Senegal that was actually they was doing some of these back spins with the head and the handstands on one side on the handstand or a kickstand or whatever they call it back then. But the video was like I said at poor quality and it would hardly play while I was trying to look at it on YouTube before I actually tried to download it and then put it on this PowerPoint. All right. This is quoting to the Encyclopedia of Africa. According to the book Encyclopedia of Africa by Oxford University Press, page 339, dance plays a central role therapy in healing in many parts of Africa. In West Africa, religion practice of Boro or Ajun, women suffer from mental illness are brought to a shrine where they learn a ceremony involving songs and dance from 3 months. This process of learning is an important supposed to be the women, excuse me, it's a typo, the women's therapies as the ceremony itself. The Tiv of Nigeria have a dance that expresses the vital force in the world that combats diseases and death. The Kongsan of Botswana performs a healing dance including both sexes of all ages, the healthy as well as the sick. Possession dance and another form therapeutic ritual movements. So you can see these Botswana, they're talking about the Khoi people. They use certain dances. They use dances for healing. The possession dances for a certain type of therapy of healing as well. So I wanted to put that out there from the Encyclopedia of Africa right there as one of my sources. And you can see here, this slide here, to traditional healing dance, not only curing illness, but also a means of relieving any existing social tension. The San, these are the Bush people. These are the Khoi, people of Southern Africa. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the Khoi is considered one of the oldest. Dual Sin Kofi, I have some prepping I need to get to. Shimim Hotep, a bet, dual for everything you do. Appreciate you tuning in. saying I am my brother's keeper. And I ain't gonna beat there. I'm about done too. I got like a couple of more slides, but appreciate you tuning in, man, with your time, man, because you could have been doing anything else, but you tuned in to watch me, man. So appreciate it. And y'all check out his Black History 365 page. And me and this brother, I am my brother's keeper, have I don't know what the name of it is, but it's on my channel too. This brother did a presentation on my channel. So my channel is not just for me, it's for everybody that wants to come on the platform and present some information. So he has something on my channel as well. So check out his Black History 365 page as well. All right. So this is the Sandbush people of Southern Africa. This is a traditional healing. So they're performing a traditional healing dance right here. So what you are an awesome presenter, saying Kofi Pasai. Very enlightening, engaging, great job. Thank you, Sene Kaba. Can anybody tell me what is this traditional healing dance? What category does this fall up under? Ritual dance, ceremonial, communal, or griotic? Which one? See if y'all still paying attention. And I'm about done, family. I got like a few more slides to go, and I'll be done. This just was a lot of information. I started to put it in 2 presentations, but I wanted to try to get it out the way so I can finish my Bajagon people presentation, and so I can start on my African material, African clothing presentation. Ritual. That's you cooking. Y'all cooking. Senate Kaba, Ritual, Curtis, Ritual. That's right. Trance dance. And I explained that on the slide back here in the Encyclopedia of Africa. We're talking about the trance of possession. Okay. Ritual. All right. And prove my art and ritual. Sophie Catches. Thank you for the invite. No. Oh, okay. She. Appreciate Bernardine for tuning in. All right. Trance dance. So you can see the Khoi people here. The Bushmen, the Sand people here. The best known ritual performed by Bushmen is the trance dance. It occurs not only for healing of the sick, but also serves as a social and sacred function. A fire is lit, a dance, and the dancers, mostly men, will start dancing in circle. You can see here in this picture here. Around it, a group, mostly women, sitting around. You can see the women in the background. Sitting around the fire will sing and clap while dancing and trying to enter a trance. When the first person shows signs of entering a trance, the clapping and singing gets more intense. So I just wanted to show that with the encyclopedia of our ancestors went through certain dances where they said these certain dances were resorts and certain types of healings. And going through a possession or these trance dances, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to show that. I wish I could. I thought I had. Let me see. I think I got a. No, that's not. I thought I had a video actually showing them doing the dance. But in this trance, it falls up under ritual, the ritual dance as well. All right, and I threw this up here. I didn't even ask because it's. Oh, okay. Well, it's a traditional dance. This is a traditional dance by the people in Benin that practice voodoo. And again, for those that has not seen my presentation on voodoo, what is voodoo? Did voodoo come from West Africa, and is voodoo what Hollywood and TV told us? And I explained to you what voodoo, because I know we have been taught when we mention certain words and when we're taught certain words have become a trigger for us in our subconscious, because we've been taught by the Western world. When we hear these certain words, these words particularly evolves around a negative connotation, evolves around evil, revolves around demonic things. And I explained that in the presentation. That's why my presentation was called "What is Voodoo?" Is voodoo from West Africa, because voodoo is a West African spiritual system that our ancestors practiced. And is voodoo what Hollywood and TV said? Because we learn this from Hollywood and TV, and they give you these demonic imageries of our ancestors practicing it. So we want gravitate toward our spiritual systems. So I break down what is voodoo and what is voodoo. So I break that down in the presentation so you can take the spookism, the demonic, all this ignorance that we get from the very people that have colonized our ancestors and have enslaved our ancestors and still enslaving and still teaching our babies this foolishness. Yeah, they get scared. But you can go to KofiPites.tv and subscribe and hit the bell and scroll down till you see that presentation and click on that presentation, and I go in on that presentation. But and I just explained the white powder, the white chalk, and so forth on the face and the body and so forth. And I may come back and do a presentation that's dealing with the material of making the powder, making the chalk and so forth, dealing with the white paint, the white chalk, put the white powder on the body and on the face. I may come back and do something on that sometime. I don't know, in the near future. But during voodoo festivals in Benin, with the voodoo festival just passed, I think about a month ago, for ceremony dances, dancers often wear colorless costumes, which varies widely. For example, some wear a costume covered by cowrie shells. And again, you're going to forever see the beads and cowrie shells. You see the beads here, but you will see beads and you will see cowrie shells in our culture, not crystals, but beads and cowrie shells. And other grass skirts, others with colorful, and I'm not knocking those that wear crystals. I'm not knocking it. Just don't mix the two up. Just let us know what culture, the crystals and the chakras and all those things come from. Colorful cloth wraps. Bodies and face painted can also be used with colorful designs like dots, spirals, and diagonal lines, and colors with different symbolic meanings. And I'll throw some up tonight or later on up tonight, dealing with, gets going into it. I won't do a presentation. I just might throw some up on my Facebook page with some information and some different sources, and y'all can click on the sources and read the information yourself. So I'll throw some sources up there on my Facebook page later on tonight, dealing with the white paint, the white powder, and the white chalk on the face, on the body, and so forth, even with the spirals of the white and the dots and so forth on the face. All right. This is from the Africanus, the Encyclopedia. And I'm just going to, just here it says the masquerade. I'm not going to read all this. It says the masquerade takes a number of different forms. Some masquerades representatives, for example, many pastoral groups of Sudan, Kenya, and Uganda perform dances portraying cattle upon which their livelihood depends. During one such dance, the Karanja imitates movements of cattle, shaking the heads like bulls, converting like young cows, and slick dances in other varieties of the masquerade. I don't have any other I didn't put any slides of them actually imitating, but in some of the dances, specifically in the Kenya and the Sudan area, their dances imitated certain movements of certain types of animals. And I didn't put it in here, so I just threw the Africanus Encyclopedia with them citing it in the encyclopedia in the Sudan and the Kenya area doing the different masquerades event. Red and black on Mondays for Papa Lekba. Keep of the keys. That's right. So I wasn't going to read all of that. Okay, welcome dance. The welcome dance are shown to respect the visitors. The way it's shown to respect other visitors. So in certain tribes that you will go in certain countries that you will go into, the visitors will be welcomed in respect by the welcome dance. So what category would the welcome dance go up under, family? Ceremonial, communal, ritual, or griotic? And you can see on the side, you can see the brothers and the sisters up here. They have visitors in the area, so they're performing their welcome dance in this Down here at the bottom, you can see these sisters here. They kind of being a little acrobatic here. Welcome dance. There are people in their village, and they are welcomed by the welcome dance. Communal. Yes, there will be communion, and it could be also ceremonial. It can be either or, but yes, communion. That's you rolling, brother. All right. Throughout Africa, dances was imported to the daily life of Africa in their homeland. It was not the case during captivity. African slaves were forced to dance while in bondage. The master wanted to assure that his stock was in good condition. Consequently, slaves danced not for love, enjoyment, or religious celebrations. They danced to avoid the whip. Most of all, slave dances for survival on their way to America. So you can see the picture at the bottom, and this is one of the same pictures I had on my man, I don't know which presentation this was. This might have been the African drum presentation. And I talked about in this presentation, and tomorrow, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read y'all an insert from the book of this guy named Alexander Falconbridge. And Alexander Falconbridge was an individual. He was a surgeon, and he wrote a book, firsthand accounts of him being on the slave ship. So they had different surgeons that were doctors that was on the voyage of the ships, and they was on these ships. And I talked about this in the drum presentation. And I think I may have some of that information on here too. But he talked about how they was there to keep the health of the people of the Europeans that was on the slave boats, and to keep healthy the slaves, to keep our ancestors healthy, because they treated our ancestors like livestock. So they couldn't sell them if they was not healthy, if they wasn't strong. So they would make them exercise on the boat. They would make them do dances. And while they would dance, the drums was present. And they would dance on the boat to try to do the dance on the boats. And the dances would be some sort of the exercise for them with the drumming. Because the drum, or any types of, anywhere, wherever there was drums, there was dancing and there was singing. So during our voyages to the Americas, Alexander Falconbridge, he talks about him being there on the boat. He went on maybe 4 or 5 different voyages, and on these voyages, they had to bring them from the bottom deck on the top of the deck to exercise, to make sure that they was in shape and make sure that they was healthy, so they could sell, so they can be sold once they got to the Americas. And his brother name is Alexander Falconbridge. I can't remember the name of his book, but I'm going to read something from the book, and I'll break some stuff down from the book tomorrow. So I'll do that from my Kofi Paisa YouTube channel tomorrow. All right, this here is an old painting here, an old plantation of watercolor paintings from the 1780s showing the slave performing a stick dance on South Carolina plantation. So you can see in this painting here, this brother here getting down, and he has the stick. His stick dance became a standard part of the minstrel show performed by African Americans during the late 19th century. It had an element of humor where the dancers would shuffle onto the stage dressed in the elder African American man's using a cane, and then suddenly use the cane to perform energetic, acrobatic capoeira dances move. This is what I am my brother Keeper was talking about, capoeira. I knew I was gonna get the word right in a minute. But this stick dance, and those that don't know what the minstrel show was, the minstrel show was comedic dancing and acting on this minstrel show of Europeans in blackface. So they would paint their faces black, and they would also have some of the Africans that was in America on the minstrel show dancing in these different comedic skits, and they would use this stick or the cane. This is where the minstrel show get the stick dancing from off of the plantation, from this from the stick dancing, from us dancing on the plantation with the stick. All right. The slave trade, and I'm about to wrap it up, family. The slave trade imported entire cultures and an island in the Caribbean and in the plantation regions of the mainland. The Caribbean, in particular, was a potpourri of ethnicity of culture that influenced the dance from Africa. During the 18th century, those influences would have been colonized the French, the Dutch, the British, and the Spanish. Tribal dances remained an important touchstone for the slaves. The hybrid dances, such as the calenda, emerged. The calenda, and Sister Kaba, you ought to be familiar with this dance. The calenda featured two parallel lines, one of the women and one of the men, with an approach and a wave patterns that started without touching and then sped it up as it aided the thigh slapping, kissing, and other contacts. Plantation owners founded the frenzy of the dance, fearing the heightened emotions would lead to an uprise. But the calendar went on to inspire and eventually the cakewalk, originally mockery of the plantation owner. So they would use this dance was used to emulate to mock the slave owner. And doing this dance too, they would put white over their faces and the body to act like the European, to act like the slave owner, and come up with this particular dance that involved into the calendar that went into the cakewalk dance. Originally a mockery of the plantation owner. Reaction of the nervous slave owners who feared the high stepping energy traditionally danced was precautionally switched from stepping and shuffling. So the dance was banned. It was outlawed, just like the drums was outlawed at one particular time. Couples to the step dance. Couples do the step dance on the low wow. Yes, they do on the low wow. And you can look up some of these dances and you can see some of our ancestors, or you can see some of the dances that still go on, that they are actually, in the African dances, they are actually stepping, clapping and stepping. I mean, you can actually see some of this stuff, so you can see what some of this stuff evolved into and where did it come from, the origins of it. Yes, and Babalu. I'm gonna talk about Babalu, the Bambaloo also. 2 hours and ticket. Oh boy. I know, Sid, I'm about done. You were talking about me earlier in your presentation too. This ain't gonna be no long-winded presentation. I know you was talking about me. I know I'm long-winded. It was gonna be a part 1 and a part 2, but I wanted to go on and knock it out the way so I can finish this other presentation and be done with it and start working on this other one. So I just said I'm gonna get it on out the way. But I'm about done. Iron Lung's about done. So yeah, and the charlatans of the 20th century, another reaction of the nervous slave owners who feared the high. Well, he was outlawed. I already read that. Okay, I'm gonna just show the cakewalk real quick because this slave dance evolved into the cakewalk, and I'm gonna show this is from off the movie The Cakewalk in 1943, just to show you a few things.
the Army's night chick.
I ain't gonna show the whole video, but just wanted to kind of give y'all what the cakewalk was. You know, they was talking about, you know, and one of the things I read on one of the slides, the high stepping, the slapping of the knee, it was the marking of the slave owner. And I told you, you know, they would paint themselves white to emulate the European with the high stepping dance and the slapping of the knees and the kissing and embracing each other that involved in the calendar, which was a plantation. Which was a slave dance. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that movie again. I hadn't seen that movie since that Copper in a minute. The movie Rosewood. All right, I got 2 slides and I'm done, family. All right, African in the West Indies. The 2 main origins of black dances are African dances or the slave dances from the plantation in the West Indies. Tribes and ethnic groups from every African country have their own individual dances. Dances of ceremony and social functions. Oh, shoot. Social functions celebrate and marking rites of passage, sex, seasons, recreational weddings. Dancers can be teachers, commentators, spiritual mediums, healers, and storytellers. In the Caribbean, each island has its own traditions that comes from its African roots and the island, particularly colonial past. British, French, Spaniards, and Dutch 18th century black dances such as the calendar and the chica were slave dances which drew on Africa traditions and rhythms. The calendar was one of the most popular slave dances in the Caribbean. It was spanned by many plantation owners who feared it would encourage the social unrest and uprising in the calendar. Men and women face each other and the 2 lines, moving toward each other there anyway, then toward each other, gaining to make contact, slapping thighs, and even kissing. The dance gets faster and faster, and the movements more sexual. It is though that the calendar and the chica comes from the courtship dance of the Congo. The popular social dance of the 20th century, such as the charlestons and the cakewalks, are descendants from the slave dances. From the exterior world voodoo comes the calendar Spanish or calendar French, which is from the West Indies coast of Guyana of the kingdom of Adar. Sometimes in the 700s was probably from the Congo River in Africa due to the slave trade of the time. Christopher Columbus was the first European to visit several of the islands 1443. In 1446, the first permanent European settlement was made in the Spanish along the Hispaniola, and the middle 16 English, French, Dutch established settlement in the area. Me and Brother Cuban Crisis talk about this a little bit, where we talked about this a lot, and the discussion we had. If you want that discussion, you can go, because we talk about the Cubans, the people in the Caribbean, not identifying themselves as black, not identifying themselves in their African heritage, their African roots, and calling themselves Dominicans, and not and saying that, you know, their origins are Spanish, and denouncing their African heritage and roots and so forth. So that's on my YouTube channel, so you can go check that out too. Large numbers of Africans was imported to this area to provide slave labor for the sugar cane, and in that area we talk about that too. Me and Cuban Crisis, it made the Portuguese, it made the Spaniards rich in that area. Sugar and coffee bean in the Caribbean that developed there in the 1600s. Slave trade through the West Indies was full scale in the 1700s. Oh man. In the 1700s, and the United States entered the scenes in the 18th century. The U.S. acquired Louisiana in 1803 from the French, and the field of the Congo Square. So now the Congo Square, I talked about the Congo Square in my African mass presentation. And the Congo Square is in Africa. And the Congo Square was created and was invented
during the 18th century, after the drums was banned. I talked about this in my African drums presentation when the drums was banned over here. And when the drums was banned, the only place dance and drums was legal was in New Orleans in the Congo Square. It was a place where the slaves were able to come on Sundays because this was the only day that the slaves had off. So they would gather gather there to trade with each other, to dance, play the drums, and to sing in this area and in the Congo Square. And in 1803, we know that the French sold New Orleans because the French had it. So the French sold it to the United States because at this time, Haiti was going to war with the French. And they had been going to war with the French, I think, from 1719, and the French won their independence in 1804, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what it was. But in 1803, Haiti was the reason why the French sold New Orleans to the United States in 1803. Tell them what it is, brother. Yes. Peace and love. Spend an hour on social media today. It has been the best hour. No problem. And I'm finna get off here in just a second. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace, Brother James. Square set up dancing slaves of 1805 to 1802. This was the make of the slave happenings. Happy slaves would be much productive as well as preventing any voodoo dance of taking place. The calendar is said to have arrived in the U.S. to Louisiana from San Domingo and the Antilles by these slaves. The original first dance in the Congo Square, which is in New Orleans, were the jig, the fandangos, and the Virginia breakdown before 1837, says Henry Kim, Tulane University. However, later they would be doing other dances among the Chica, which I talked about. Sister Kaba talked about the Babaloo dance a while ago in the chat, and the calendar, what I talk about, another slave dance that incorporated of them marking the slave owner on the plantation that they eventually outlawed. And eventually they became the main ones. The calendar music was grossly personified, personal sacral ballad and dances, and the calendar, became the cakewalk. And I showed you the cakewalk a while ago. All dances that traditional African drums. The calendar was a dance of multitude of sort vehement coalition. Men and women would dance with lucrative gestures, the thighs together, striking them together in the rhythmic patterns would feature pelvic thrust, gaps, and I talked about this in the slide, so I'm not going to keep. But the calendar also laid as well in the late 19th century, despite the protest. The Cuban rumba was said to be descendants of the calendar dance, which was an African dance that became the calendar. The calendar, you got the rumpa dance. From the rumpa, you got the mambo dance. From there, you got the salsa dance, and so forth. So a lot of these African dance stemmed into the Latin dances and so forth. And I talked about the Congo Square. I talked about a while ago, the Congo Square was the only place that was invented for African slaves that was here in the United States, because we know the drums and dancing was banned here. So this was the only place that was on Sunday where you didn't have to be on the out in the fields on the plantation, where we gathered together in New Orleans in the Congo Square, and we danced, we played the drums, we sing, and we traded with each other. So this is a monument that's in the Congo Square to kind of back up with some of the things that I was talking about. The Congo Square is in the vicinities of the spot of the homeless Indians used before the arrival of the French for celebrating their annual corn harvest, and it was considered sacred ground. The gathering of the enslaved Africans ventured in the Congo Square originated as early as late 1740s during the Louisiana French colony period, and continued during the Spanish colony, because we know the French and the Spanish owned New Orleans at one point in time, and then the French sold it to the United States in 1804 due to them warring with Haiti in the Caribbean. The colony period continues during the Spanish colony area as one of the city's public markers. In 1803, the Congo Square had become the famous for the gathering of slaves of Africa who drummed, danced, sang, and traded on Sunday afternoon. By 1819, these gatherings numbered as many as 500 to 600 people. Among the most famous dances is the Babalu, which Senate Kaba talked about, the Kalenda, and the Congo. These African cultures expression gradually developed into Mardi Gras. So this gathering and these dances and this event eventually developed into Mardi Gras, which was just celebrated not too long ago. For those that's selling Mardi Gras, this is stemmed from their African roots as well. A gathering in the Congo Square during 1740. Well, this was the day where we didn't have to work for massa. This was our free day where we can go and gather amongst each other, where we would dance, sing, you know what I'm saying, play the drums, trade with each other, and fellowship, and so forth. And this eventually, this gathering became developed into the Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras Indians tradition, the second line, and eventually the New Orleans jazz and rhythm and blues. So a lot of your jazz, your rhythm and blues comes from this as well, family, which is rooted in African traditions. So, family, this is the last side. Family dance is used as a recreational entertainment that edifies social patterns and values in the communities and as an expression of religious belief and the spirituality. Each tribe and community has its own signature dance, move, and diverse event. They dance when a child is born, a bride is being prepared, a pray for better rain, be joyous of better crops, to curse evil and even ward off diseases and danger. Dance was a way of life and incorporated in everything. Where there was a drum, there was dancing. Where there was singing, there was dancing. So that concludes my presentation, family. This was the last Sunday. It is the Sunday things here in New Orleans compared with we do here and what our people of West Africa do. Same thing, same people. That's right. It still is. The oppressor power has taken full control. In fact, they hardly want us there at all. Dang, for real? I'm gonna have to come down there and see, because I want to see the Congo Square. And like I said, I've been down there, New Orleans, many a times and never been to the Congo Square. Peace, Valerie Greenball. But that concludes my presentation. It was a lengthy, it was a long presentation. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. These are my sources. You know what I'm saying? I had to put my sources up here before I get off of here. You know what I'm saying? So these are all the sources. Africanus, the Encyclopedia, African American Experiences by Henry Lewis. That was one of the books. African Dance by Karuma Welsh Ashanti. That was the book African Dance, the Encyclopedia of Africa, Volume 1 by Achabak and Zanala Kilimanjaro. That was another book. So I extrapolated information from those three books. And then I got information from these other articles and other sites from here. So there's a plethora of information that I use, that I dissect and put together for this presentation. You can vent my sources, my information. I don't have a problem with that at all. It was all good, saying do all excellent. Appreciate that, Senator Lisa. I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me for the last 2 hours, because I didn't want to break it down. I wanted to get through so I can start on this, finish the Bajagon people presentation, which I'll be doing on my YouTube channel next week. I'm excited about doing that presentation. So here, subscribe to Kofi Paisa TV. And again, it's the channel that takes the Black woman, Black man, and Black child Eurocentric mind and Africanize it. So if you want to stay on your Eurocentric mind, Kofi Paisa TV is not for you, because if you get on the channel and you look at the presentations, I guarantee it's going to Africanize you. It's going to take you out of that Eurocentric mind state that we all have. So again, I want to just say dua duau. I want to say modupe, ibe, which means thanks, family. You know what I'm saying, for tuning in. Moriri, which means appreciate or appreciation. So I always appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking out with me. And this video will be immediately downloaded to my YouTube channel, and be on the lookout next week for the Bajagong people presentation. And following that presentation, be looking forward for the African clothing presentation, where I'll be breaking down the clothing, the symbols, how they make that clothing and so forth in the different regions. So be looking forward for that. Also be looking next week for me and Cuban Crisis. We're going to do it again. We're going to have another discussion next week. It's going to be on Ifa. It's going to be on Saturnalia. It's going to be on Kamdambala. It's going to be on Shangon Baptist. It's going to be, thank you for putting that in the link, send it, Lisa. So there, if you ain't got the link, that a link is, go and subscribe to it right now. So we'll be having another discussion next week, and it'll be on my channel as well, breaking down those different spiritual systems, which are all African spiritual systems, and the division between it and so forth. And on that note, I want to say Shemem Hotep. I said ETM Hotep in the beginning, which means come in peace. And I said Fapmu Alafie, which means bring forth peace. And now I want to say Shemem Hotep. That means go in peace, or it means depart in peace. So I'm going to leave you with my video. And I appreciate y'all. So Moriwi eBay. Appreciate you, family. Oh, shoot. So I'm out of here. Let me go play my video if it's going to let me. All right.
Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor over the knowledge of himself, he becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself, because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man.
I'm raising my team, red, black, and green, queens and kings, salute, now scream, I should, bring Brooklyn underhanded, I should, I'm raising my team, red, black, and green, queens and kings, salute, now scream, I should, bring Brooklyn underhanded, I should.